joining me today. Today's reading is going to be who is your potential new boyfriend or girlfriend. So we're going to use the astrology chart here and just to have a closer look to basically how they're going to come across to you, how you recognise them, or if they're in your life already. And we've got 3 piles, pile 1, pile 2 and pile 3. So you choose your pile and we'll get going.
La música de Harry Fraud.
Hi, pile 1. Let's have a look at how this person, your potential new boyfriend or girlfriend, is going to come across to you, possibly how you're going to meet them, and your first impressions of them. I think this person's got a very, very strong personality. It's not somebody that's going to so much sneak into your life. If they're there already, you know who they are, and if they're not there already, when you see them, you will know they'll make a big impact. A big personality, somebody who likes to take the lead, somebody who has quite an ego, would not like to be made a fool of in public, somebody who is strong and outgoing and definitely has a maverick part to them, has a different way of doing things. When I said earlier that I don't think they're going to seep into your life, there's also this sort of feeling that they may. What I'm trying to say is that you will know when they're there, but there may be something slightly underhand of the way that they come to you. Not underhand as in negative, but almost as if you possibly could be with somebody else, or there's somebody else on the scene and they want to get closer to you. The way that they will come to you, they will provide for you in practical matters. They will offer to help you with something. They will try to show their interest in ways that will seem as if they are helping you, but they're not actually that interested to begin with. If they have this sort of aura of being in control and possibly I'm going to have to start because I'm so thirsty. Pile number 1. I have turned over 2 or 3 of your cards and have to start again because I'm so thirsty. So I do know what's going on under here and here. So just before we start, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn over the cards bit by bit. Basically, first of all, to tell you how they come across to you and their general personality, and then feed the other bits in. So things will change as we go round. So let's get going. The first things I pulled over was this person has a very, very big personality. They have a strong aura and a strong feel about them. They will definitely come across to you as being very much in control of their life. They may be in a position where they've got other people doing work for them, or definitely in a position of power. Even if it's a small business or just generally in a group of people, everybody goes quiet and listens to them when they talk. And they quite like that. I think your person will have quite a delicate ego. Not in the way that you will pick up that they're delicate, but they will need to be in control. They will not like people making fun of them in public, that type of feeling. Not the type of person who would take being cheated on easily. I do think this person has a very, very good mixture of confidence and the ability to do things in a different way. So that's how they're going to get noticed. They will come across as being extremely confident in almost like a smooth way, not smooth as in cheesy smooth, but just as in just a calm inner knowing. And they will also be somebody who is not afraid to take risks. I think this person's going to come into your life in you've got the 7 of Wands here, so I do think the way they're going to come across to you, or the way they're going to show their attraction to you, is going to be in an underhand way. What makes me think this is that one of you may be already in a relationship when this person comes into your life, or they may be there already, and they're going to try and offer you practical things. And I think that's the way that they will try and get to your heart, is by offering to help you with things, because that's the way they work. so far, without taking out any other cards or turning them over, I just get the general person. This person is very good in, they function very well in reality. And what I mean by that is that some people just seem to have it to a T how to do everyday reality, and then you have the more sort of artistic wavery types who, you know, are shy or fumble with their words, and then you have this person here who functions really well in everyday life, and I think you will find their confidence very attractive. And the way that they're going to try and get closer to you is by offering you something, some practical way that they can help you. I think that's going to be quite well, as I said, attractive, but a strong pull to you. They will try and shield their ego, or they will try and basically wrap their ego up in cotton wool when they're with you. They'll give the impression that they don't mind. They'll give the impression of being quite foolhardy, and basically, I don't mind jumping into this, I don't mind setting up my business doing this, I don't mind doing this and that. But to be honest, the thing that they do mind is revealing their inner self. They will find that really hard, and you may just be able to pick up bits of information about them, and they will, if they get to trust you, will reveal bits as things go on. Right, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this person's love nature is very giving, very, very, not so much exuberant, because I do think they do shield themselves, but they would want to treat you. This person would want to make you feel like they're king or they're queen and provide you with lots of practical things. They're probably very good at buying gifts and very generous, very, you know, the type of person that brings you into their home and shows you everything, shows you parents and mums and dads and aunties and uncles and children, whatever stage of life you're at. They will welcome you into their home, and they will welcome you into their family. And I think there's an air of generosity about them. But to be honest, at the moment, I'm not picking emotions up yet. And I'm not getting a really emotional feel. So if you've got lots of air or lots of earth in you, you may quite enjoy this. You may be overwhelmed by too many emotions. But let's keep going, then we'll sum up in a minute. 2, 3. Okay. The communication with this person. I'm picking up that the communication with this person may be difficult in some ways, that you can't catch each other, that your time together is short, and that one's moving away or the other's moving away, and that you can't actually really get together to have a good conversation, or it's basically trying to catch each other on calls or emails, and it's a bit here and a bit there because there'll be some distance between you if there isn't already. And it's almost as if this person is the one that wants to communicate more and is trying to catch you all the time, trying to get hold of you. You know, perhaps you get together, have a conversation, you just get together and have anything, and then you have to part again. And I think this person is the person that's yearning that little bit more. I'm also wondering whether this person sexually has been on their own for a while. Or has been in a relationship and felt wounded, or some way that they need to sort of recover or heal themselves from something that's happened. Because this person has a strong ego, and for the 8th house is the house of sexuality, and you've got the 4 of Swords here, and the 4 of Swords talks to me of somebody who has to heal, who needs time out, or is resting, or basically. The only other thing I'm thinking here, if this is just, I'm going to go across, because I'm getting a strong ego here, and you've got, this is the house of sex, which I'm trying to get a little bit more information into them, and this card is lying down. I wonder if they haven't been in a relationship recently and they're not healing, or there's just some sort of them cutting back and just trying to get themselves back on their feet on the floor, whether this person is quite dominant and whether they always like to be in charge in sexual matters. Because you've got the Strength card here, it's hiding their emotions, hiding their desire. You've got the Emperor card here as well, and in the House of Sex you've got the Four of Wands, which is lying down. So I'm getting a really strong feel that this person is quite dominant and quite likes possibly the partner to be quite submissive. Let me keep going. Let me see what else keeps turning up to get a bigger picture. I'll have a look at their home life to see if that adds to it. Okay, their home life I think possibly could have involved quite a bit of travelling, or just a family that was very sort of here, there and everywhere, even quite eccentric. Because they've got the Fool card here as their personality, and they've got the Fool card here as their home life. So something that is quite sort of, as we said before, maverick, something that's quite unusual, quite eccentric, quite just throwing themselves into things. It's obviously something they've picked up from home and carried on in their personality to how they actually appear to others now. So I think this person probably comes as I think this person probably comes, it's like seashells, comes across as quite different. I do think your person could be very successful in business if they have a certain way of approaching things that's different from everybody else, original ideas, and they're the Emperor and they're the Strength. I think this person could be really good at making their impact in the world. It's a very strong practical feel about this person. Let me see what next. Okay, I wonder whether this person's either moving or travelling, or at the moment has moved themselves away from a group of people that they identify with. So it could be like best friends or just a group of people, or for some reason has had to shift on or move on from those people that they normally have surround, not one-to-one relationships, but the people that they hang out with. I'm not sure if I'm getting this from the cards, but I'm also getting, it's like a feeling of whether this person's just finished a relationship and is moving in some way in their life, or moving on in some way in their life. It's basically coming out of one relationship, and then by the time you meet them, or if you know them already, they are almost healing themselves. Or just basically, they may not be. When you first meet this person, this is a possibility, because also the dominant personality and the submissive and dominant sexual bit could apply. But if it's not that, the other possibility is this person is still a strong person, still quite domineering, but when you catch them, or when they come into your life, they will be moving from one relationship to the other. Because you've got two movement cards here, both with it, like they're moving out of a general situation where their friends, or not their family, basically their friends are changing. There's a movement in this pile. Let me keep going and see. Yeah, here I think I'm getting a really strong feeling that this person, when they come into your life, or if you know them already, there has been a shift. This shift is on I'm not thinking relationship at the moment, I'm thinking on an everyday shift. Their job might have changed, their friends have changed, and somehow this has had some profound effect on them. So when you meet them, that's how you will recognise them. That's how you will know that this person's strong, but they're not afraid to change, and their life is changing or has changed. And when you meet them, they will basically be trying to recuperate themselves and what's coming next, to get themselves ready for what is coming next. Your boyfriend or girlfriend that is coming into your life, or that you know already, is going through momentous change. It's like a whole shift in the way that they see themselves and their direction in life, their career, their everyday activities, their friends, their group of people they identify with, and how they see themselves in the world has shifted. So that's how you're going to recognize this person. They're going to be strong and they can cope with it, but that's how you will know them. I do think that their self-esteem is, I know I said before that their ego is weak, and I do believe that. I think they have a strong ego, but I do think deep down their self-esteem is quite solid, so that they will get through things. They're quite resilient, but I also feel as well that I don't think in relationships they will do very well with being hurt, because they're very proud. Do you know, I think that what this person hides from you, will hide from you and from other people, is not so much their vulnerability, but that almost there's a gentleness about them and they don't like to show it. There's a kindness about this person, and there's almost that they're quite like the image that they give across is very sort of worldly wise. Is there such a word as that? But I think deep down they're really quite sensitive and quite intuitive and very caring and very giving. They will definitely give to you in a practical sense. They will be generous with their money, they will be generous with their time, they'll be generous with who they introduce you to in their family. There's the more this pile comes out, the softer it appears. Because to begin with, you're getting all these harsh, big energies, and there's this feeling of them moving. There's a general feeling of them moving. But as it comes out, it's almost as if there's a softness inside this person, and they like to give to other people to make them feel good. And they're very good at doing it in different ways. But this person is definitely in a period of change. When they come into your life, you will know, because they will be having a huge shift in their life. And you'll almost get them, or while they're trying to get their feet back on the ground. And I think this person's aim in life, what they basically makes them feel good, is to work with other people and to be part of a team. So this pile gets nicer the more you move on. Not that it was bad at the beginning, but it just shift perspective as the cards have come out. Okay, so your potential new boyfriend or girlfriend, if you know them already or if you don't know them, this is how you will identify them. There will be a large personality, a strong person with quite a dominant aura. They will possibly come to you in some sort of way that feels as if they're not being open with you, because they don't want to show their emotions, because they're quite vulnerable. You won't pick that up from their personality. They will probably be a little bit underhand in saying, they won't come out as in like, I'm really attracted to you, like a fiery person will. It will be like, can I help you with this? Do you want to come and study with me? Do you want to lift here? It will be something practical that they will offer you. The more that you get to know them, and the way that they do actually come towards you in love, it will be a sort of generous, welcoming feel about it. Welcoming with their family and with their friends, although the friends is a dodgy one. And just good at sharing their money. I do think this person deep down is quite sensitive and quite giving. And I think they like that in a long-term relationship. Somebody who's also quite kind and thoughtful, because I think that they're quite generous and kind and thoughtful, and I think they would enjoy that in somebody else. But this person has huge changes coming into their life, or have come into their life before you meet them. There will be changes in work, there will be changes in basically what they see as their career direction. And when you catch them, or when they catch you, it will be as if they are moving from one huge big area in life to the other. if I could say astrology wise, what sort of feel I would be looking for, I would be looking for Aquarius, Aries, Leo with some earth, which I know doesn't, which almost says virtually every sign, but you have got this sort of maverick, unusual energy that comes from the family coming forward in this person's personality. But there's also the inner fire there that they try and almost dampen down with a austere look about them. They don't like to reveal too much until they get to know you, but you would definitely feel that this person's earthiness is in their way that they give to you practically. Okay. Right, pile number 1. I hope that gives you some idea of this person. It would be really good to know whether this person is in your life already, or whether you've spotted them, or whether any of this fits in, or just generally whether you are open to this person coming in the future, and whether any of it rings true. Well, thank you very much for joining me, and I hope that does ring true in some way. Let's have a look at your potential new boyfriend or girlfriend and how you'll recognise them, or if they're in your life already, basically how you'll recognise them. Your person is coming across as being quite direct. Not direct in a Aries way, but direct as in they know what they're doing, they get on with their life, and they're confident in themselves. This person is not somebody who will shy away from you. They will look you straight in the eye and they will let you know what they feel just by their eyes. That's what I mean by direct. There will be some sort of intensity in the way that they look at you. They're not the type of person who will move their eyes when you basically catch each other's eyes. I think the person is quite content in themselves. They're not the type of person to cheat. They will be the type of person who's very honest. And has an air of being at a point in their life where they're really very happy with themselves and how far they've come. And I'm wondering whether you've met this person before. I'm wondering. Okay, this person comes across to me as being really confident. There's almost an air of, I think that's what will attract you. It's their air of, they think that they're attractive and they have this sort of strong, silent type feel about them. That they're the type of person who will stand across a room and stare at you, and that's how they will probably make your legs go to jelly, by the fact that they seem so grounded and firm and planted, and there's this air of confidence about them. But I'm wondering whether you either know this person from before, or you recognise them, or there's something in their face and the way they walk and their features or something that reminds you of somebody else who have you been attracted to. Which is a strange thing to say, but I don't know why. This is from the cards. They seem quite content in themselves, but there's this like a pull from the past that is in there, and when their initial approach to you, that's what you will notice. So it's either you think that they look like somebody you've fancied before, or they just are somebody that you've known before. And I think as well, there might be an air of an anxiety with meeting this person, although I think you're both very happy with the way that your life has gone and where you're at the moment. There's like a content feeling about the pair of you. There's some anxiety coming up, and I can't think it's from this person that we're looking at. Your potential new boyfriend or girlfriend is coming up as very grounded and almost a sexy, strong, silent type, with an air of confidence about them. But there's this past link, there's anxiety there as well. And I wonder whether it's the attraction. You may recognise them as looking like somebody you've either been attracted to, even if it's not somebody in real life. It could be somebody on telly. I don't know. But I do think your person is they have this feel of being very open and honest and direct, and they're not the type of person to muck you about or cheat on somebody. And the anxiety, I think, is coming from you, which is almost, this is the feeling I get. I can't actually see it in the cards, but this is the feeling I get, that you know, you recognise them, or there's something that unnerves you about them, but it's like a nice anxiety. It's almost like, you know, butterflies. Their love nature is quite open. Their love nature is sort of, they expect to feel good in a relationship, and they want you to feel good. So there's not that sort of game playing going to go on. There's that sort of, I'm really attracted to you. You know, I really shouldn't have to say it. You know, you could probably see it in this person's eyes. I mean, this card here, this is them, is very intense. The stare's very intense. It's the King of Pentacles, who is very grounded. He's just standing there, he's staring, he knows who he is, and he knows what he wants. The Six of Pentacles as well, once again, it's got that firmness about it. It's, you know, it can give, it likes things to be, they like the relationship to be equal. And then for their love language, you've got the Six of Wands, which is somebody who looks as victorious. They want you to feel attractive, because they want you to know that they think you're attractive. And, you know, because basically they're probably quite at home in their body and the way that they look and who they attract and who they want in their life and who they don't want in their life. So there's not that game playing here. There's not the strong ego battle that I almost felt in the first pile. Okay, I do think, similar to the first part, I do think your communication may be a little bit sort of here, there and everywhere. I think I have this feeling that you are together and then you communicate really well and it's exciting. You both get excited and then you separate. And then the communication almost takes part either in your head or online until you get back together again. So it's almost as if it's like there and it's not there, and there's the excitement there and you think you're moving forward, and then this person has to go off or you have to go off. It's not a continual communication like when you live together. But there's a fiery power. It's slowly, as this power reveals itself, it's coming across as a little bit more sexual and fiery, but in the communication and love language. So I do think this person is steady but open in love and direct. Direct anyway, to be honest. Right, 5, 6, 7, let's have a look. Okay. I won't wonder. I'm not going to talk about sex yet, because that's the sort of sexual part, and that to me says something specific, which I'm going to see. I'm going to talk about that at the end. Let me put it there to remember. Okay, I think this person is very giving with their friends. I think they are basically seen as like the sort of head honcho in their group, in their group dynamics of all their friends and their family. There's somebody who's very practical. They could even be married. They could have a family. Because just somebody who is very giving, and once again, there's a huge practical feel with this. The person, when they say something they're going to do, they do it. If they say they're going to meet friends, they will do it. You won't get this person to change their minds. They will be very sort of straightforward with their friends and always be there if they're needed. They're the type of person that would go out of their way if their friends are sick or the people in their friend group are sick and just go and see them. They'll pick them up in the middle of the night when they phone up drunk from a club. That sort of feeling. You know, like a sort of the earth feeling with their wider group of friends. I do think that this person's ease with themselves and ease with their life and their practical, solid nature comes from a very loving family. And I think that's what this person that's coming into your life or is there already, you will know, because they will be just very at ease and relaxed, and their nature that they've basically built up from being loved by their parents is probably so easily transferred to their love relationships. This person's confident in love, and just from their home life has been so open and loving that the way that they approach women or the way that they approach men is just something that's so easy. They don't expect to get batted back. They haven't got sort of a bruised ego where they sort of play games just to see whether they're liked or not. They think they're beautiful. So why shouldn't everybody else? Which is a really nice relationship. You don't want your relationship turning out like some bad Channel 4 drama. And this person doesn't, not either. They have been loved and they know how to give love. They're there for people who need it. It's a really nice pile, which has made me want to look at their ones. Okay, and I wonder whether this person, if they don't work with their hands, they're just very good at working as part of a team. I'm trying to think what other careers or jobs you work with your hands, but like gardening. There's sort of Taurusy sort of jobs. Gardening, pottery, building. Anything solid and sensual and working with your hands. I don't know. That's the feeling. If it's not those Taurusy jobs that you get, it will be something where they just like working as part of a group. But I wonder if this person is almost having a little bit of a change in their career, where they could feel at the moment, maybe to do with what's happening, in the outer world, whether they are in a bit of a position where things have changed slightly, which could have slightly unnerved them. I don't think this person likes too much change. Let me just put some other, I'm dying to think this working with the hands, but let me just put a few cards on here to see whether they are. I don't know. Generally, I think that, I think they work with their hands in some way. If not, there's something quite sensual about the feeling. And this is like, I don't know how to explain this, because it's their everyday activities. And you've got the lovers, and you've got people in groups working with each other, and it's hands-on, and it's just working as a team. I don't know. There's something sensual about the everyday work. I can't even think. Well, I can, but I don't want to say it. Okay, let's keep going. Okay. This is going to be really specific. It's not going to apply to everybody, but I'm just going to say the first thing that's come to my mind. When I turned this over earlier, this was like the basically how they see sex or their sexuality, and there's almost as if they've lost something. And then you've got secrets. Secrets is like the Page of Coins, which is a young child. And I don't know whether the relationship has gone on or happened. There's been a child involved, and they feel like they've had to move on from it, and just generally that transition is something that they find as if it's difficult to cope with. That's quite, let me just have a look. I'll say Pacific, we just talked about that with my sister. Specific. I get the feeling this person either has recently broken up with somebody younger than them, or has a child. There's some way that I'm not going to say this in some sort of inappropriate way, but some way that children are involved in the relationship, where they've been in a relationship and they've have a child, and that's always on their mind. And the fact that they express themselves so well, and the fact that they're so confident in their love language and the way that they approach you, when it comes to sex and when it comes to secrets, there's something that slightly unnerved them, and there's some form of loss, and there's some form of children involved. If it's not children, it's depending on your age, it could be somebody that they've been with who's been younger than them. There's a slight feeling. That's running on my cards. Go away, you. There is also a possibility that this person could be coming out of a relationship and they feel as if, because I'm getting quite a practical feel about this person, whether they're coming out of a relationship and the things that's bugging them, or that they will be having to adjust to finances in their past relationship involving children, and they found that quite shocking. And that could be something that you may recognise them, or you may know them already. That's something they're dealing with, is how to deal with resources and finances from a past relationship, which possibly could involve a child. So there's a fly in here. I'll tell you why I'm saying that. I'll tell you, I explain myself. So, if that doesn't apply, there may be other bits that you could twist it to see if it still fits you that I haven't thought of. In the second house, which is resources and finances, you've got the Tower card. So this person has basically had some sort of shocking revelation with regards to their money. And the 8th house is shared money. And these cards don't fit in with the rest of it. And you've got the 5 of Cups, which is loss. Although you've got something left, is if you've lost something. And the 12th house is the house of secrets. And you've got the Page of Coins, which is a young child. So this is what I'm picking up from this. But you can sort of twist it to see if there's any other way that it, and please tell me if you can find, if this does ring true, or whether there's a different, not investigation, explanation for this. I think that this person possibly, because it's so specific, I don't know whether they have come out of a relationship with shared finances and that they are trying to pick up the pieces and maybe have to sort out maintenance or something like that. Very specific, I know. If it's not that, the only other thing I can think of at the moment is if there is some sort of sexual hiccup with them where they don't actually feel as if confident as they appear in everyday life when it comes to the sexual arena. Oh, I don't arena, what the bloody hell is that? Okay, right, I'm going to keep moving on. I just hope bits of that apply. I'm just saying what I can actually read. The final thing I'm going to say is there's a really, really strong traditional feel with this pile. If you are very earthy yourself, or if you like things solid and grounded, you don't want airy, fairy crap, this is your person. Because I do think this person's values are very traditional. In a good way, because they have these traditional values, they've built this world around them and they feel as if they've got it down to a T. They feel happy with themselves, they feel attractive, they've had a fantastic upbringing, and this person will know how to make you feel good. I have an image, this is my image I'm getting from this pile, and it probably sounds really stupid. I'm getting this image of a couple who perhaps are like farmers or something that works with their hands on the land, and the woman is beautiful with red cheeks and stocky and sexy, and the male is just there. And if you turn that around, it could be the other way around. The woman could be a potter. They could be just somebody who works with their hands, and they're wearing dungarees, and their garden's beautiful, and the male is there, and they're just generally happy with the whole situation. There's a content feel about this, but it's earthy and solid, and there's almost traditional feel about it. It's a really welcoming feel of people who know where they are, who they are. Right, I'm going to leave it at that. Your potential new boyfriend or girlfriend is definitely somebody sexy, solid, and content with themselves. And I think you will know who they are because you will almost recognise them. They will make you feel as if you've seen them before. The only other negative I can think is the sexuality pile. There's like loss there. And the most obvious thing to me was the fact that not the fact, because it isn't a fact, the possibility that they could be coming out of a relationship where there's been some sort of financial tie and they're having to pay for this child, paying maintenance for a child in some way. But that's very specific. Okay, pile number 2. I hope some of that rings true, because that's a really nice pile in a sexy dungarees and doing pottery way. your boyfriend or girlfriend is. No, I'm not going to say that. Let me just have a look at your cards. Okay, your person is quite a mixture. When they come into your life, they are going to you're going to know, you're going to recognize them straight away as somebody that you're attracted to. If they're there already, you will know who it is. There will be no question about it, because this person is very good at manipulating circumstances so that they work in everyday life. If this person fancies you, they're going to be able to plan a situation and make an impact. They are very, very good at communicating. They're somebody who uses their words extremely well, with a confidence. It's almost like a trickster feel about them. They could be quite jokey, they could be quite funny, but they are definitely different. You're getting a very sort of this is such a mixture here. The last ones, you almost could tell the person's job from if you are with a builder or a potter, go to pile number 2. But with this pile, you've got, I'll go through it and I will show you. This is what I'm thinking. The Magician is the first one that struck me, and the 8 of Wands. So the Magician is really good at making what they want to be real become real. So if they want to come into your life, they will do exactly what they need to do to get you into their life, and you won't even know they're doing it until they're there and they've got you. They're very good. 8 of Wands is communication. They've got this communication is direct, it's open, it's sort of sexy. They're not really hiding anything, but they're very good with their words, and this person could take on some sort of whirlwind before you knew that basically you were with them. And that's what they intended, but you didn't know what was going on. This you've got different energy here as well. So I think it's probably best for me to explain the cards and you sort of read it into what this type of person may be. You have to help me out here. You've got the High Priestess, and the High Priestess is somebody who's this lady here's got a book in front of her, and she's reading. It's got a heart on it. So the High Priestess is somebody who basically can see behind the scenes. She's very good at interpreting her dreams. She's very intuitive. I said it. I'm going to get that wrong. She knows what's going on, which is a little bit like the Magician, but the Magician's got more of a naughty feel to it. And you've got the Ace of Pentacles. So this person coming into your life in some way, it's like a bit of a sort of trickster spiritual feel about it. This person may have a job to do with spirituality. They may have a job to do with manipulation in the best sense possible. I'm thinking almost like advertising. They're very good at communicating, and they almost feel as if when you meet them at the time of their life, as if they've got where they wanted to get. There's an inner contentment, but there's a very sort of naughty feel about this person. Naughty in an astute sort of way, as if, this is so difficult to explain but really interesting. They're naughty in an astute sort of way. They know what's going on behind the scenes, and they know how to bring it into everyday life, and they know how to communicate and really get people hooked. But there's like the 7 of Pentacles here. They've worked really hard in their life to get where they are, and at this moment when you meet them, they've got the Ace of Pentacles here and you've got the 7 of Pentacles here. They are exactly where they want to be. There's a contentment and a feeling of just generally being at ease with themselves, because they have been so naughty in their life. They have used their word. I don't mean naughty as in bad naughty, but it's it's like a Uranus Mercury field to me. Somebody who's very clever with their words. I'm not doing so well here. Let me keep going and pull some over, and we'll come back to this, because this is really, it's not baffled me, but it's difficult to explain. So what I'll do is I'll pull the other bits over and see if this comes together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my God, it's getting worse. This person who is so adept at using their fantastic banter is going to come across to you in a love nature as very caring, as very warm and nurturing. I have never seen a pile that has just shifted from one to the other. So this person has probably got a lot of air and earth and water and possibly fire in them. They can shift themselves from one situation to the other. Very clever person. I would be interested to know. I think that your person works in some sort of a profession, or their everyday life evolves around I'm thinking like Neptunian professions, but not in a way that it could be to do with media. It's when there's fantasy projected or imagination. But they could be changing profession. But I think that's where they come into their own, when they have to make they project an image onto something like advertising or film, or something creative like writing books, or just generally something arty. And I think that's how you will know them. And you will think they're so adaptable to move into all these different situations. They may be changing job, they may be changing career, but they're going to come across in so many different ways to you, they might have you confused. None of them negative, because they're quite fiery, they know how to talk, but they're going to come across with quite a strong and nurturing love nature. Hardest part left. Okay, let me keep going. How will they communicate with you? Yeah, their communication is open, it's direct, and it's fun. They will probably the type of person that will take you out to something social. They will take you out and confuse you, because they will definitely confuse you, because they're open, but they're very adept at how to talk to people. They will take you out and they will take you out for a drink, and then they will confuse you even more by putting on this emotional sort of switch as well. They're not playing with you in a nasty way, or the fact that it's just the way that they are. They're just very adaptable, very flexible, very mutable. I think it's coming all clearer to me now. I think that in your person's past, that they have their home life, they have had to adapt to a parent's changing persona, as in they have learned to adjust to please people, and they know how to do that really well. And they're very, as I said, mutable, and like Sagittarius, Pisces, Gemini, they know how to shift, they know how to read emotions, they know how to read situations and move into that. Let's have a look up here. And I do get a feeling, because I've just flicked over these other bits here, because your pile is so different from all the other ones, that your person is not underhand. They are just generally somebody who likes movement, and likes movement in personalities, and likes movement in life. I think they don't hide secrets. They won't have any of their personalities. There's no slyness there. There's no secrets. It's generally just a need for movement and expression, and there's a general sense of winning in life. There's an inner contentment with this person, but an ability to, oh, this is so unusual. Okay, I'm going to put more cards on some of these. I have never seen a pile that has so many different energies in. Now, I'm just going to, before I start putting on, just so that I can just add to more information, your person is really good at starting new situations. They can read behind the scenes, and they've got to a part in their life they're really content with what they've built up. There's an inner contentment here, and because of their flexibility and their ability to shift in and out of situations, you could almost feel as if it wasn't heartfelt or it wasn't basically solid. And that's not so with this person. This person just has lots of different aspects of their personality. They are very good at communicating. They're very good at starting new things. They are very intuitive. I almost said it this time. And they're always very caring and giving. In their home life, they've needed to use this flexibility in their approach to, I think, possibly to appease their parents. Well, their parents' moods could possibly change, or both their parents were different, so they have lots of different energies that they move in and out of. And they don't think it's false, it's just they're expressing their mood, their way at the moment. I do get a huge Sagittarius, Gemini, Pisces feeling from this. They're the type of person who, when they're with somebody, they will pick up their accent within like a week. But there's a feeling of contentment, there's a feeling of winning, that they know where they're going and they know who they are and they're really happy with it. So when this person comes into your life, I do think that you will think that you won't know where you stand to begin with, but you'll recognise this person as being very good at talking to people, getting themselves into situations they need to be. They're in the right place at the right time for a job offer. They know the right people to talk to. And they just give you that feeling that they know what's going on. Right, I'm going to put a few cards and a few extras here just to give me a little bit more insight, because it's such a mixed pack. What do I want to know more about this person? Right, let's have a look at their love nature, because you've got their love nature, the way they come across in relationships is loving and warm and giving, and it's almost very sort of protective. Because I think they're like this because they can read your emotions. They're very good, as I said, if you've got the Magician here, they're very good at reading emotions. They can see when you're upset and they want you to make you feel better, and they'll be able to do it. They are very sensitive. This person has a Pisces feel about them. Very sensitive, very aware of your feelings, what's going on in a room, what's going on under the surface, and how to make it better. It's almost as if this person likes to make other people feel good, not in a weak way where they basically sacrifice themselves, but in a way that they know that they can, that sensitive sort of spiritual feel about this pile. They can read the situation and they know what to do to make the situation flow easily. Let me just have a look at their communication after saying that. Okay, they communicate in a very sort of outgoing and friendly, sociable way. They are not afraid of having to approach people who are hard to talk to, who are basically sort of have a sort of ego block in front of them, because they feel as if they're quite capable. This is the whole feel I get from this, of getting into their inner workings and helping them. If you're somebody there to talk to, I'd like to ask you what you know more about. When I said earlier that this person's home life is they've had to adapt to their parents, I do think this may have possibly they've had to withdraw. They've had to withdraw at times from their parents and gain their inner strength, and that's how they now adapt to different situations in life, because they've learned to. They know that they need to move themselves into situations where they are pulling on their strengths rather than being beaten down. And so that's how they've become so adaptable in life in general. I've had to deal so many. I don't mean to deal one card for each one, but this person is calling for a lot of cards because I want to know, because I'm nosy. Let me find out some more. What do I want to know about this person? 8. Okay. And I do think this is the same sort of feel. This is how you're going to recognise this person. Your person has struggled and knows how to come out on top. Your person knows when they're beat and they know how to get up. There's a resilience with this pile. There's a flexibility, there's a mutability, but there's a really strong resilience with this pile. It's funny how the last two piles, the further I go on, the more attractive the person becomes. Because you could read this pile straight off as shifty, because of all the different qualities that have come up. But the more you put on, this person's just adaptable, and this person does it for the best interest of all. Okay, my last thought before I finish it, because I don't want to put too many cards out. I think that everyday life, your person, as I said, could possibly work in media, in images or projecting images, or in some way turning fantasy into reality, or just basically shifting perspective so that it's seen in a different way. But I also, as well, putting down the King of Cups here and the Princess of Swords, I also wonder whether they actually do this in a way like a psychotherapist, in a way that they heal people, or they are very adaptable and creative in their work situation. They could be teacher, as in they are basically, they take people's problems, they take their inner warmth, and they know how to make the best situation out of it. It's somebody who, this person is so clever. It's somebody who can change circumstances to get the best out of it. Then they know what they're doing. They're extremely good at it because they've had to learn from their home life how to adjust. This is quite exciting, pile. And I think this person is very, very in tune with themselves. And I think they quite enjoy dealing with big subjects. I think they're basically very good at dealing with people who are in transitions in their life, because they know how to manipulate the world in general. This person's clever. Right, pile number 3. I hope this read well, because to be honest, it was probably one of the weirdest reads I've ever had, but the most interesting. So this boyfriend or girlfriend that's coming into your life is going to be really interesting. And I would never ever see this person as being shifty, because you've got the Magician, which to me, shifty. But with this pile here, this person has learnt to do it, and they do it for the best reality, and you will see them slip into different personas as you see them in different situations. And do never ever think that's wrong or incorrect. It's because, especially if they're Pisces or Gemini or Sagittarius, that's who they are. That's what they're good at, and they're calling on their best bits to make the best of themselves. So if you're prepared, you spot this person coming into your life, and if you're prepared to move with them, you've got a really adept person here. Right, pile number 3. I feel like I'm mad, but I hope that's helped you. Thank you for listening, and bye.